The last hack I want to share with you is strengthen connection. This relates to the delivery of the online experience. I have two types of connections in mind. The first one is technology connection. This means setting up your technology appropriately so that you are well connected with your audience. So for instance, for the technology part, there's often an audio component. So try to find a quiet space so that people can listen to you without much distraction. Be sure to invest on a mic or a good headset so that people will have good sound quality. Research has shown repeatedly that people have very low tolerance for poor sound quality. So within the first maybe 10 to 15 seconds, if your sound quality is poor, mentally they are already tuning out and it's very hard to get their attention again. And you also want to speak slower because internet sometimes is not very good at picking up sound. So if you speak too fast, certain words may be cut out. In addition to the audio, there's also the visual component in most technology. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have good lighting if you're showing your face. Face the light and have good eye contact with the camera. If you look at this picture, right, the person on the left, it doesn't look too engaging. I wouldn't want to listen to that guy. The guy on the right, however, you can see him, you can trust him. You want to listen to that guy. And also, when you place your camera or your phone, make sure you place it on a steady surface that is at eye level, so it looks like you're actually talking to someone at eye level. And be sure to show your hands. Why do you do that? Well, when you speak online, people cannot see your facial expressions as clearly. But if you use your hand, you can actually use hand gesture to add to your communication. You can convey emotion. You can tell them you want to reach out to them. You can tell them you're confused. You can tell them you really care about them. So use your hand gesture to enhance your communication. And also try to find a nice plain background. Research has shown that if your background is cluttered or has a lot of things going on, it really causes Zoom fatigue. Why? Because subconsciously your brain is trying to decipher all that's going on in the background. And the more you have in the background, the more likely people will get distracted and the brain will be busy working on deciphering the back, which is not what you want them to do. Besides strengthening connection by paying attention to technology, you can also strengthen connection by paying attention to people's psychology. As we have shared before, the internet can be a lonely place and some people do feel isolated. So you do have to work extra hard at helping them overcome some of the negative psychological impact of connecting online. And there are different ways to do that. One is simply by giving them more opportunities to interact with one another. And you can do that by making good use of breakout rooms so that people will be in smaller groups. Therefore, they have more opportunities to talk and in a more cozy setting. And they're usually more willing to share and open up when there's less people. But if you're using breakout room, let me just encourage you to be very clear about what you want them to do. Give them good instructions. And also, it is recommended that you assign or appoint a facilitator in each group so that you have one person who is kind of managing the interaction, making sure everyone has an opportunity to share and also staying on track in the discussion. Another thing that you can do to strengthen connection is to organize what I call virtual luncheons. So this is when you have everyone connected on the Zoom and they're all eating lunches together, even though they're in separate locations. One time I organized a virtual luncheon for my mentoring group. And what I did was I ordered food to be delivered to their household all at the same time. And then I have all the students log in, and then we would have lunch together. And although we're in separate locations, but somehow the act of eating together, and in this case, I had them all eat, Burger King. So they were all sharing the same food. So even though they're apart, it's as though they're together, sharing the same experience. And my students have told me that was one of the highlights for that semester. Somehow they felt connected with people, and it was just a rich, wonderful time of being in community, even though it's a virtual community. And of course, it's good practice to strengthen connection by reaching out to students above and beyond the class time. So, think of how you can connect with them by sending them personalized email, chat, being on one-on-one online calls with them. Just something that's done not as a group, but more on an individual basis. That will certainly help strengthen connection. In fact, a study was done at Biola University. One of the faculty shared her experience. Basically, when she moved her course online, very quickly she noticed people were feeling disconnected, and she was feeling disconnected with the individuals as well, with people in her class. So what she did was she decided to email each person each week and just ask them how they're doing, and how she can pray for them. Again, these are personalized email, not a broadcast message to the entire class. And people would respond, and she would pray for them. So just by simply sending personalized email, she immediately noticed things turned around very quickly. In fact, some of the students felt they were closer to the teacher than they would in a face-to-face class, because in a face-to-face class, they do not get personalized email from the teacher. Whereas in an online class, they get these personalized email. So they actually felt closer with the teacher, and also in turn closer with the other students as well. So never underestimate the power of personalized email.